thinking outside the box. This is a phenomenal da'wah technique. If someone believes in something that's strange or doesn't make sense, why do they remain believing in that? I'll tell you a true story. When I visited Thailand, probably I was 7 or 8 years old, and we saw all these people with these statues, and they would feed them every day, maybe sometimes 2-3 times a day. They take away the dry food, put fresh food, and even though we were kids, we used to laugh and say, don't they notice, don't they realize that this God is not eating? How come they don't ask the statue, hey, you haven't taken a bite in the last 50 years? So it's not that the young 7-year-old was more intelligent than the 50-year-old. It's simply that the 8-year-old was viewing the incident from outside of the box, while the 50-year-old was inside the box. What does this mean? It's kind of like when you paint, or if you've ever written something on the blackboard in school. When you write it, you think, okay, you're doing a good job. When you go sit back in your seat, you see that the sentence you wrote is all slanting, downwards. But when you were up close, you didn't see the flaw. This is what you try to get people to do. Try to get them to step out of this frame of mind, this box, to see what's wrong with their belief system. This was the technique used by Ibrahim alayhi salam when he destroyed all the idols. To make a long story short, when they came and asked him, he said, you ask the big one. Ask the big one. Then Allah Azza wa Jal says, فَرَجَعُوا إِلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. And some of the Mufassirin say that means that they blame themselves. They turn to themselves. Yes, he's right. These idols, they can't speak. They can't protect themselves. Surely they can't protect us. So he temporarily, alayhi salam, got them to step outside of the box. Same technique was used by the sons of Amr ibn al-Jamuh radiallahu anhu. When he had the idol, and every morning first thing he goes and he worships and greets the idol. So they took it and they threw it in the dump. So he woke up, looked for it, couldn't find it, found it in the dump. Came back, cursing and swearing that if I ever catch who did this to you, I should do this and this to them. So then he goes to sleep at night again, they throw it in the trash again. He wakes up the next morning, finds the God in the trash, gets upset again, cleans it, oils it up. Then the third night, he puts a sword around its neck. And he says, if they come to throw you in the trash again, defend yourself, protect yourself. And so his children come, and they were Muslim. They're trying to give him da'wah, they're trying to get him to step outside of the box, to realize that this is a useless object. So then they take it and they throw it in the dump again, or they even tie it, in one narration, to the body of a dead dog. And then Amr ibn al-Jamuh radiallahu anhu, when he comes in the morning and he finds it in that situation, what does he say? He says, you can't even protect yourself. You can't even push harm away from yourself. You can't do good for your own self. How are you going to do good for me? So what happens to him? That his children got him to step outside of the box and see what's wrong with his belief system. We're going to discuss in the course, inshallah, the coming course, Shahada, the fiqh of da'wah. We're going to discuss techniques to get people to think outside of the box. And this is a technique now we use to discuss Trinity. Instead of quoting Luke chapter this, verse that, Matthew chapter this, verse that, in a simple way now we discuss the mindset of believing in the Trinity. And because of that, the discussion ends in a few minutes versus hours and hours of quoting passages. Now, we're going to also look at some phenomenal arguments that Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah mentions in his book, Ighathat al-Lahfan. Phenomenal questions that he asked people who believe in the Trinity. But I'm not going to give them here. You're going to have to come to the course for that. Thanks for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.